Alright. I want to kind of focus in on my page. I think it looks okay. I'm not saying this is amazing, but I was looking at my thumbnails for like my last few videos, and I noticed that everything in my thumbnails looks really awful. It looks really rough. And it's because I'm showing you the roughs. I'm showing you the sort of the sausage making part, and which is looks pretty scribbly, and it is. It's one of those things. There's a couple of things I need to tighten up or erase anyways. Well, I'll be. I don't know where it is now. Alright, how... It's not on ink. Looking for where this line is. Layer tones, that's where it is. Okay. So this is page 5 done completely. And I think it's an okay page. I like the atmosphericness of it. Page 6. Aha, I did some roughs. Now, let me show you what's going on here. The inevitable thing is I'm going to have this lizard come out and attack the ship. And... oh, and by the way, it's going to knock Gallows overboard. We have Rabbit Fighter and Iseult. Gallows lands safely, because even though he's injured, he's still an expert acrobat. And then I was going to have my two heroes, Rabbit Fighter and Iseult, kind of jumping. I'm not sure if I like this picture because I have them jumping off in different directions. And, you know, maybe I need to rethink that. So it's worth thinking about. What I might end up doing is paging through some other comics and figuring out how it's been handled in other comics. Not necessarily to swipe it, but at least just to think about maybe the layout being different. For now, just because it's an easy one to recreate, let's go ahead and erase it. What's another option we could have? Because I was thinking maybe they fight from the ship, or maybe they... She has a staff or a sword. He's got a sword. I could just focus on Rabbit Fighter leaping over the railing like this while he's drawing his sword. I kind of like to talk about the Ed Piskor situation. I think it's tragic. But I think it's going to be hard to talk about because I think everybody's going through this sort of whole gamut of emotional reactions to Piskor's suicide. Or you might want to start thinking about it as the murder of Ed Piskor, because that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like this guy he was feeling sad one day, you know? He was driven to it. So it's a different situation. I think that's what's making it really tough. And then to compound it, the people that drove him to it, you know, were people he, to a degree, associated with, right? This makes it more complicated, right? Because there's, and you know, specifically I'm talking about the Dan Fraga episode with the jacket, or the you know, dissing Noah Van Sciver, or trying to get Steve Rude to denounce Mike Baron. Like, those are not cool things at all. Those are things that made me like dislike the guy, really, to tell you the truth. But I love the show, and I never ever said anything about those things, really. And of course, it didn't have to end up like this. How terrible. I'm not a stranger to the situation. I was in the military for 6 years. I kind of still work in the defense world. I will say that when I was in the Army, every single unit that I was ever in, starting with basic training, there was at least one suicide. At least one. We had chaplains. I was convinced that was their main job, was to try and talk people out of it. And they did. Sometimes they didn't. This very, there's a couple things that struck me. One of the things was something that Lazmat, Road Warrior, Duck Warrior, Lazmat. If you've ever seen his cartoon or his comic, he was saying is you can't have just one thing. Like if comics is your only thing and that gets taken away, you gotta have something else. You gotta have something else. And I think that's 100% true. Another thing that struck me is a lot of people were saying I kept me up all night. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I didn't have that problem, but I definitely have been. It's definitely everybody's thinking about it. Everybody's got something to say about it. One thing that struck me is I think everyone has to forgive Jim Rugg. I think that's going to be an important bit, because I think he was the secondary target all along. I think the real target was the show. The people that did this, they were jealous of their success. And I think that the attempt to get Ed was also an attempt to get Jim, and they did. That's why he folded too. I wish he'd been more loyal. I think everybody said that because he could have just shrugged this off. It wasn't anything. I saw the stupid DMs. I know they were inappropriate, but there's nothing. There was nothing. Nothing that would have been remembered a week from now, in my opinion. I'm looking at this leg and I got it wrong. Anyway, I'm not going to put anything about this topic in the title or in the thumbnail. I'm not trying to get people to click on it. I'm sure, just like you, it's giving you some things to think about. I'm sure I got this right. Just want to have him like jumping over the railing here. Maybe I could use like for reference, I could go and find like some Olympic, vault, or what's the pommel horse for this particular maneuver here. Well, there's a message from somebody. Go over there in Discord. I don't like what I'm doing with his hands here. What's going on with the hands? I think maybe it's like... if you're jumping over something, like your thumb would be out here. There's no railing really, it's just kind of just the edge of the ship. Something like that. And then maybe instead of the curve, no, that's wrong too. I think I was more correct the first time. Where do I put Isolde? I think she should still go to the right of him. And make her smaller than this figure here. Too big. So how do we... just trying to figure out how to realign this character to right there. That way this kind of... So I don't know if you notice what I did here. I'm just trying to like recreate my rule of threes here. And I could probably take her and move her right down here. That puts his see, he puts his feet in the way. Oh, maybe I could kind of warp it this way. See, that kind of works actually. And then we could spend the next page or two battling this giant lizard. I just saw the Godzilla movie. That's what's going on in my mind. Roar! Okay. Gotta figure out what to do for his feet. He's got sandals on. So it is going to be a matter of getting the perspective right. I really apologize for this because, you know, anytime I start drawing my roughs, they really are rough. And, you know, like a magician who doesn't give away the secrets, most artists probably don't want to show their roughs. I think I'll have her battle staff here. I think that'll kind of work. Okay. So what you're seeing here, just to go over it again, was we see this ship has been flying along. Let's go back one page so you can see that I really can draw. The ship is flying along the desert. They're traveling at night. They've been trying to avoid the lizards. Suddenly the lizard bursts up out of the sand, which upturns the sailing boat. Gallows goes flying out. Our heroes, Rabbit Fighter and Assault, are still on board. Gotta fix his blind eye. And she's going to say something like, "You've got to get him back on board before other lizards come." We're going to see Gallows, of course, land. No problem. And he will already have his grappling hook out. And then we see Rabbit Fighter and Isolt right here. So this will be pretty cool. So this looks like it might be a kind of a cool page. Got four panels. All right. Apologize for the roughs. I'm going to take some time and figure out the dialogue on this page. Stay strong, cartoonists. Alright, talk to you later.